And Scott is in the building. And straight from Temple University. Coming in at 6'6".
I wish.
Averaging 25 points a game.
I'll take it.
The point guard of the FAQ podcast. We got Quincy Harris in the building, y'all.
Hey. What's up, y'all? What's the deal? What's going on?
What's up?
Oh man. Listen, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good.
You good?
I'm older. I'm older. So I'm starting to see people and I'm like, do I know your dad? You know what I'm saying? I never thought I'd be that guy. Like, you got a dad name. So yeah, I know Keith's dad. And I was like, dog, he was almost had me. He was like, dog, I don't know no comedian. Like, I'm like, oh snap. So I thought I put my foot in my mouth. So no, listen, man. That's how old I am now. I'm that guy.
Oh man, you're a young fella. Man.
I'm trying.
So, we like to ask our guests from the rip, man. How you feeling?
Sensational. I feel free. I'm feel good. All of that. Free, sensational, good. Yeah, all of that. All of the above. Optimistic.
With all the quarantine and all that, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm good. Through the quarantine, I've made huge shifts, so I'm good.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So you're talking about the shifts, you know what I mean? I want to know, like, let's just take us back for a minute, right? Now, we got a young fella from Philadelphia, Quincy Harris, man. How did you pick the profession? How did you say, yo, radio host, that's what I want to be into. That's what I like.
Yeah, well, I was 12 years old. I was watching Arsenio Hall. My parents bought me a TV. I snuck and would watch, like late night shows. And it was like, this is back in the day. It's like late 80s, early 90s. I would only see like a couple of rappers on those kind of shows. But then when I saw Arsenio, I was like, oh, snap. This dude had all these rappers on the show. I was like, that's who I want to do that. I want to interview people just like how he interviews rappers and stuff. So that was always my game plan. Like, all right, I'm going to do, when I was probably like 15, I was like, yo, I'm going to go away to school. I'm going to get into radio at college. And then I'm going to segue and use the connections from that to TV. That's always been my plan. Yeah. I didn't go away to school. I went to Temple. So, yeah. My parents had the money. Yep.
Early on, like, who would be some of the people that kind of opened the doors, and like, how did you maneuver your way into the industry?
Man, I snuck backstage at Powerhouse, man. I was like real rap. Like I was just hustling. I snuck backstage.
You was hopping fences?
What you say?
You was hopping fences?
No, so this is exactly how it happened. me and my two homies from high school, they went to Temple with me, and we were at the, I think it was called the First Union Center, whatever. And we see one of his homies who worked for the station for Power 99 go on the exclusive like elevator to go downstairs. I'm like, let's go. Because I already knew my mom. I was like, I gotta get a connection. I was a sophomore at Temple. So we go down there with him. So now we on the main concourse, like, oh, okay, we here. I'm like, I go straight for the stage. And I go on the side of the stage, Powerhouse, everybody got to pass. So I get to the side of the stage, I'm like, I see Kobe Cole. I'm like, dog, I'm trying to get on. He's like, send your resume. But for me, I was like, that's a message right there. That was a sign. Right. And then 2 weeks later, I was listening to the radio, and they was like, write a 99-word essay if you want to learn behind the scenes. This is before even internships. And I was like, bet. Wrote the 99-word essay. I went back to Temple. Some people knew Kobe. I don't even know how I got in. I don't know if it was the 99-word essay or my man sent the resume. They gave me a shot to like try out. And I just answered the phones for the first day, and I like begged them, like, can I please stay? And they let me come up 2 days a week. And then that 2 turned to 5 and turned to 6 to 7. And then, I got a job. Yeah.
Damn, that's what's up. So how did you get into your TV show, The Q? When did that happen?
Yeah, that was relationships. Like I met Jen Frederick, who was she still is a reporter at Fox. And she would come and she would do like say it was Powerhouse again, like we would have like different celebrities come up. So she would cover it. And me and her was like really cool. So then American Idol came out, whatever year that was. I'm just dating myself. I'm older. She would have different like radio people come up and talk about what happened on American Idol the day after. And you know, it was a couple radio people that should have just stayed on radio. They weren't really like, you know, energetic. They gave me that shot. They had me come on. They kept calling me. So then it became my segment. It was just me and Jen's segment. So I would go up there, you know, we'd be joking around, playing around, and we had a great relationship, and I kept that relationship. So that had to be like 05. I moved to LA, kept talking to Jen, came back, fast forward like 7 years later. She's seeing the stuff I'm doing online and all that stuff. And I'm like, yo, at the time when I was on Fox in 05, I was just like a young radio dude. I was deezy from the radio, you know, but I came back, you know, I had a wife, girl, you know, baby, like, you know what I mean? So I could talk about more things, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I could talk about young fathers and young relationships and all that different type of stuff. And Jen was pitching me for stuff. And she was like, yo, have Q come on for this. Have Q come on for music. Have Q come on for whatever. So she was really like pushing and plugging me. And then what happened? She wanted to go on vacation, and they had nobody to like go on vacation for her. And I'm gonna tell you, when I was going to Fox, when I came back probably like 2011, 2012, I'm not getting paid. I'm just coming. Q, can you come up? Mike Jarrett is off. Can you come on and host the 9 o'clock hour? Hell yeah. Like,
yeah, right.
So it got to a point where people thought I worked there. I'm there 3 days a week for free.
Right.
And then going doing my radio show, and they were like, all right, cool. Like they thought I worked there. And then Jen wanted to take a vacation, but she had nobody to fill in for her.
Right.
And at the same time, I was kind of like, all right, this is cool. Y'all let me come here and be on TV, but like where the money at? Cause like
I got bills.
But I didn't do it. It was like a smooth year where I was like, I'm coming up there, you know, whatever. But now I'm like, y'all calling me like I'm in the staff meetings. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at everybody else staff. I'm not staff. I'm like, so I went to Jen and I didn't step over I didn't step over her to go talk to her boss. I'm like, Jen, I love what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to know, is there a possibility for a payment? You know what I mean? I just did it real smooth. And she was like, you know what? I may have something for you. And then she wanted to go on vacation, didn't have anybody to fill in for her. This was like the end of 2013. They was like, yo, we're going to give you like a 2-week trial, please. I was like, all right, cool. And that 2 weeks turned into just everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what's one of the most your inspirations as you progress through your career?
Man, Cosmic Kev was like, dude, like me and him were so, like, he never wanted to talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that dude, he was like, man, he just cared about the records and he just cared about that. And my whole thing was, I want to get the TV. So I want to interview everybody, right? So he was allowing me to like build great relationships with people because he ain't want to talk. He's like, man, do your thing. Just go ahead.
Right.
So I'll be like I just saw like an old tape of the Come Up Show in like 03. Which was wild. It was like DMX, and then it was like the first time it was DMX. He came on like 10:30 because the show came on from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. He came on from like 10:30 to 11:30, and then the same show we had Kanye West for the first time him ever being on the radio in Philly.
Wow.
So like those kind of relationships I had because they were coming to see Kev, and Kev like, no, y'all just go talk to him. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I'm up here building relationships with legends, 50 Cent, Fat, like anybody who was like a legend at that time and still like transitioning, doing all that stuff. It came from like Kev really like looking out for me. Like, dog, I don't want to talk. You got the raps? Go ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was Kev. It was Kobe Cole for giving me a shot. This guy named Sean Skywalker, who was a producer, who like, you know, helped me out, like made sure I was like, stayed a volunteer, you know, at the station. You had Helen Little, you got Sarah O'Connor. It's been like, this is, you know how you go to you see a award show and they be like, oh my God, I got it. It's like, you be like, dog, and the music is playing and you like, and you don't know any of those people. It's like that. I am a committee of a lot of people, being Big Boy, Fuzzy, just it's been so many people. Sanjay, there's been you can't do it alone. Sometimes we think we could do it alone, but nah, it's been endless amounts of people that have helped me throughout my career. Yeah.
Have you ever got
So let's
starstruck?
talk.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
uh, have you ever got starstruck before? Like one of these interviews, like you say, all these legends came out. Did they
Yeah.
like you freeze up one time or something?
Oh man, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, yeah. I remember my first interview on the radio. They were like, so the dude who is this guy named Joe Young. He used to host the Come Up Show before Wongest and before I hosted, and I would run the board for him. And he took off this one Friday. So I'm like 19 years old. They like, all right, Q, you got host. I'm like, all right, cool. I can do that. Like me and Kev was talking. They was like, no, Murder Inc. is coming up. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm still a fan, but I was like a real fan. So I'm up here interviewing Ja Rule. Like I was 19, bro. And I'm like
Yeah.
I got the questions. I'm like, so a little birdie told me that you have an album coming out. Bruh, like, hell yeah. Like, yes, it's happened plenty of times, man. Plenty.
But I wanted to ask you about your production company, Germantown Entertainment.
Yeah.
Will you be producing any new content like in
Yeah.
the foreseeable future?
Yes, I have a show that I'm pitching right now. I got the podcast that y'all see. Like, that's not even
Right.
just a podcast. Like, literally, I'm doing content to open up other doors. Like, if you see me in front,
Right.
it's not because I don't even want to be in front no more. I'm just doing it so I can produce these other things to open up the
Right.
doors. That's it.
Right.
Like, I literally want to become, I don't want to say like Tyler Perry, but I just I see talent in other people. I want to be able to produce that, but you have to have proof of concept. So like I got this one show that I've partnered with this other production company. We try and like put that through the finish line. Me and Fuzz got this podcast. I got 2 other podcasts I want to do, like produce and put out. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. But what I've learned, sometimes when you juggling so much, nothing can get done. So it's like,
Right.
okay,
Right.
we're doing FAQ. Let's push that through. Okay, we're going to do the next one. Let's push that through. The other production company that I'm working on this other project on is like, y'all gonna do the heavy lifting. I'm gonna do a couple emails, and then when we do it, we put, you know what I mean? Just trying to get a couple of these projects pushed through before I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do that and do that.
Right. Right.
Because there's not enough time in the day, man. I got 3 kids, you know, a wife who, you know, I ain't know, but she's a great lady. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I just try to get those couple of projects like pushed through, and then I'm able to scale with hiring a bunch of people that can, you know what I mean, help ramp things up faster.
So you've been in the game for a long time, and you interviewed a whole bunch of people. I know it's a lot of interviews, but is there anybody that stuck out like the most? Like as far as like whether it was somebody that probably was like a mentor, somebody that you wanted to interview, somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody that had an impact on your
Man,
career.
dude, I mean, I got to the point in my like the TV show where it was like, no, I want to interview, like, all right, Eric Thomas, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher.
Mm-hmm.
2014, I was like listening to his stuff like crazy. 2013, 2014, somebody told me he was coming back to Philly. He was coming to Atlantic City. I was like, oh, snap. So he got to come through here. I emailed him. I'm like, yo, I would love to interview you. I would love to. I'm going to stop the music on my show and bring you on the show. I'm gambling because hip hop radio, nobody stopping the music unless somebody dies. You know how it be like, hey, we gotta stop it because and then they play the music back and be like, murder, death, shots. So
That's true.
yeah, 2014, I reached out to him. I'm like, dog, I would love to have you on the show. I'm gonna stop the music for an hour. Cause I'm like, I gotta add value. I gotta make sure it can't be a 5-minute interview. Dude's busy. He called me back, like, yo, Q, really? You want to bring? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bring you on. So then I'm like, damn, now I gotta sell this to my boss. I'm like, yo, and she never even heard of him. I'm like, yo, Eric Thomas, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher is really motivational. I'm telling you, everybody's gonna like it. And they're like, oh, all right. And he came and he had all his fans listening. People start calling in. We stopped the music maybe like an hour, 15 minutes. And that relationship, man, that has blossomed into like friendship, has blossomed into just just so much. That's one of the people. I mean, it's endless people that have helped me through just using a platform. But yeah, that's one I can say that's sticks out right now.
I heard you talk about pitching ideas. And I hear that a lot, like from my dad too. Could you like tell me your process and like what you go through when you pitching an idea to a company or an effort?
Yeah. So what like first what I do, because it's hard, right? When you're pitching ideas, everybody's pitching, right? And it's like, hey, first it's like a man and he's walking down the street. And they don't want to hear all of that. You got to show them. So I like to produce sizzle reels before, and sizzle reels is like it's like a minute and a half of what the show concept could be, right? And then sometimes you're like, man, I don't have some of the footage from the show concept, but because I've been in the game for a while, and 80% of the time I'm pitching myself, it's an interview clip from me with ET or me with Jamie Foxx or whatever. Like, I'm just saying off the top of my head, say if it was a late night talk show. I have clips of me interviewing different people that looks like I'm a late night talk show host, right? So I like to show sizzle reel because you can talk to people, but it's better when you show them like, yo, this is the concept I have, because everybody can kind of like talk game. So that's my one thing. Another thing is a pitch, like a pitch deck. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes people have like, they put like, a 4-sheeter, like one of my homies, he's like infamous. He has like every idea he has like a pitch deck that goes with it. So you can either do a pitch deck where it's like, yo, this is the show. And then you go through, like you have a Zoom meeting and then you're like, yo, this is what the show would be on, it's like a storyboard, like for like a video director. If y'all know any video directors, like they have storyboards. So it's almost like doing it like that. So that's my main process when I'm pitching. I'm either showing it through video, quick sizzle reel, or I'm showing it through, PowerPoint presentation. Yeah.
And since now that you're pretty much a legend in the game.
Oh no, not even. Tell my bank account.
I'm sure you got like a lot of ideas pitched to you now. What's the craziest idea that you got pitched to you?
You know what? It's not so much crazy, but I think a lot of times people don't understand like how much work is involved with doing what you do, right? Like if you're doing your I don't care what you do. If you're a comedian, if you're a DJ, if you're a painter, like, and you're doing that as your passion and that is your main source of income, I think a lot of people don't value that. They just like, oh, that's the boy from the joint, so whatever, man. Like, so I had somebody the other day, right? They were asking me like, yo, I want to do a show. Like, why don't you produce me? I'm like, you think it was just that easy for me to just get yeah. Like I just went to Fox like, yo, y'all should do a show on the board. Like, no.
On the board.
You know what I'm saying? I just like, that's my like, that's the most disrespectful and that's the craziest thing because people just assume like you could when somebody tells you just like, man, all we gotta do is just, nothing is ever just anything. Ever. Somebody say that, it's like, no, dog, like, like that's a red flag for it's a scam or they BSing you.
Right. So you spoke on having DMX and Kanye West in the same day, right? That's crazy because it kind of shows where hip hop was and where hip hop was going around the time. That's like a crazy time to be even in the game. So what's the difference from that you would see in hip hop now and hip hop back in those days?
Number one thing is no middleman. Like you don't have to come to the radio station. You don't have to go to a TV station. You can literally, it's straight to consumer. You know what I mean? You could literally come up with something. All of us can say it's trash, right? And then there may be 60,000 other people like, yo, I love it. It's not trash. And you can monetize to those people, right? And those 60,000 people, if they give you $10 a year, that's a good living. You living off 600 grand. You pay whoever you need to pay, taxes, whatever, 350. You could 350 them to death and not really hurt nothing. And then literally people will be like, yo, who you like? Man, I like the boy Q. I don't know who he is. And they listen, that's whack. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
Doesn't matter. So I think that's the biggest thing. And that's what we're seeing, right? And you hear a bunch of old people like, and man, in my day, it was, bro, it ain't your day no more, right?
It ain't your day.
You ain't 18. Like when I was 18, like, well, guess what? You ain't 18 no more. It's not 1975. You got to learn, and that's another thing. You got to learn how to adapt and change and keep things for what they are. Like, there's a lot of rap I see. I'm like, I get it or I don't get it, but I understand it.
Right.
And you know, it's all good.
So let's switch gears just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Recently in this country, it was some wild stuff going on. I mean, they stormed the Capitol, and we seen some things we ain't never thought we'd see, and we knew if we did see it, wouldn't be from our people. So kind of walk through like your thought process when you saw the people storm the Capitol, and like how was that even just seeing it, and what's your take on that?
Man, it's so funny because I went straight on Instagram Live, and I was like, are y'all seeing this? Like, this is insane. It just shows you how racist this country is, right? Like, there is, first of all, Black people wouldn't even think of doing that. Like, that's not, like, I just want you to understand, right? You have to think, like, I know a lot of other people, but Black people wouldn't even dream, like, this is how much this country wasn't designed for us. We wouldn't even dream of doing that. Like, there's a lot of Black people I know that are pissed at Trump. I've never heard not one Black person say, yo, dog, you know what? He come to Philly, I'm pulling out that thing and it's going down. Like, never.
Not once.
Not once. So that just shows you, and again, 4 people dying from, you know, in that situation, 4 or 5, still is horrible.
Right.
But just imagine if those people were Black, we wouldn't even got that close. I saw a former Capitol Hill police officer say not a couple years ago, in his lifetime of him working there, he's a retired Capitol police officer. He said Farrakhan came there with 3 other men and to the Capitol. They wouldn't even let him get that. He couldn't even get up the steps.
With 3 men.
With 3. Farrakhan and 3 men couldn't even get up the steps, bro. So people knew what was going on with that. It shows you the racial divide here. But then I would like to flip it and say, yo, this is our time. Like, it's a shift in this country where we were just talking about with music, where it's like, you don't need a middleman. Like, you can literally dream and think of things and have a team of people that can help you and you can make it happen. And we got to dream bigger because so many times, like we never, I'm just talking about on the good side. We don't even dream that big. Like, think about Elon Musk. This dude has an electric car company. Now he putting rockets on the moon. Like, we got to dream bigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then people, and you have to find your tribe of people that when you say something that may sound insanely crazy, like, you got to get away from them. Like, no, I love you and everything, but I got to get away from you. Think about on the flip side of that. They was like, oh, we taking over the Capitol. And one person was like, yeah. Another person like, hell yeah, man, you damn right we're going to do it. Like, and they did.
Yeah.
Insane. So I just say on the flip side, like, we gotta dream bigger and dream better and start executing on everything. Like, even school, like when you hit me, I'm like, no, set it up. Let's make sure, because I'm everywhere, but no, I'm here. Like, dog, we just gotta, I'm not saying like I'm a dream for y'all, please. Like, I don't even think that full of myself.
No, but to be honest with you, it is like, you know, you are, I know you're being humble, but you that guy. So, I mean, even for you to be able to reach back, that was dope.
Nah, it's all up, but think about if you didn't reach out or you thought, you ain't gonna show up or whatever. It's like, then you miss the shots you don't take. Like, every shot, like, oh man, it may be drawn like, yo, shoot a shot at Kanye. He may be like, you know what, I want to be on another platform. You just never know. You may catch him on the right day. You just never know. So that's my thing. Like, out of every negative, I try to look at the positive. It was like, yo, them people really put that together and was like, no, we're doing this. Like, ain't nobody ever. They said something like the Capitol hasn't been invaded or stormed since like 18, whatever. Like 18, bro, this is crazy. So I think on the flip side of that, we could do whatever. Like, y'all could be the next whatever. Y'all could be the biggest podcast in the world, right? Like, y'all, you know what I mean? Taj, you know, he got Milano on. You know, I mean, hey, maybe it could maybe happen. Like, it just,
Yeah.
Anything can happen, man. We put our minds
Right.
to it.
So I was thinking about that. I do have a question. When your show, The Q, when that got canceled, did that dampen your spirits? Did that dampen your dreams? How do you
Nah.
get through that?
So I'm gonna give y'all the real. So what happened was they came to me, they was like, yo, we gotta put the show on hold. And I was like, all right, cool. So let me rewind. This summer, no, when the pandemic happened in March, right? So March
Yes.
12th was like my last show inside the building. And up until that point, I think we're at like 660 episodes in 3.5 years, like something crazy. And so they were like, yo, we got to put your show on hold. And I was like, all right, cool. So then they were like, we're going to just start running reruns. I'm like, we running reruns? I could do it from the crib. So I shot the show from my crib. I shot it, I edited it, I booked it, I produced it. I did everything for 39 episodes. 39. Each show had to be 21 minutes and 15 seconds. I did everything myself.
Yourself.
So myself, and I'll never forget, and I will give him respect. And like, so one of my homies, he got stuck in Mexico, right? So he's chilling in Mexico. Ain't got no kids, him and his wife. And he calls me one day, he does marketing. He calls me one day, and he was like, dog, you are working too hard, bro. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know how much they paying you, but they not paying you this much to do this. Like, if you doing all, like, bro, they giving you 7 different checks because you doing everything. I was like, damn. Right. So then I want to say like around show 35 of me self-producing the show, they were like, yo, we got to put the show on hold, but we have another show idea for you. So I'm like, damn, like I just did all this work.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's be real. Like, so now we like now, like I'm fuming because I'm like, dog, I just did all this work and the work wasn't appreciated.
Right.
So then so for me, I had to self-evaluate after I'm talking to my homie. He's like, dog, you gotta, what you thinking? And I just think like everything that happened this summer, I'm not trying to go too deep into it, so I'm gonna let y'all read between the lines, but everything that happened this summer with social injustice, it's certain things that you just, when you're dealing with certain structures, you just deal with because that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna take this on so I could put other people on. I'm gonna take this on because this is just the way of the world. And something happened this summer, was like, dog, you doing all this, you know what's going on. They offered me the next show. I was like, nah, I'm cool. He's like, cool, I'm good. So I have a lot of, I try to hang with people who are way smarter than me. That's the whole key to everything. Like, I try to hang with a bunch of people. They was like, yo, this one person said, if they fight for you to stay, that means you made them a lot of money. I already know that you made them a lot of money, but if they fight for you to stay, you made them a lot of money. And that person was right. I'll just say that. And so no, it was more of a freedom, because you got to remember, me being there for 3.5 years, and I have a career. My career in the last, like, I left LA to come back home. I didn't want to leave. My wife wanted to leave. She was like, man, let's just go back home close to the family. I'm like, man, you tripping. I want to stay out here. It's LA. Like, you know what I'm saying? And with that, sometimes you got to know when to go. You got to know when it's time to, like, it's a career. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Martin Lawrence ain't still on the Martin show. You know what I mean? Like, you got to leave. Like, Will Smith ain't doing Fresh Prince still. Like, the Fresh King. Like, you know what I mean? You got to, it's a career, and you got to take things and learn things from each place and keep it moving. But as I get older, the time of me staying places is getting shorter and shorter because I got to go. I stayed at Power 99 for 10 years. I was in LA for 4.5. I was at Hot 107.9 for 3.5. I was doing Fox part-time from 2014 to 2016. I did my show from 2016 to like 2019, so 3.5. Like every time I go, it's like this. It's going 10, 4, 3. Like, yeah. For me now, it's just like ownership, bro. Like, that's all it's about. Like, because you can get mad, you can be upset about anything that happens, but if you don't own it, This is what we talk about with ownership. Like I'll never forget that Dame Dash interview. He was on the Breakfast Club. Like,
Yeah.
can you pass this down? Can you pass this down to your kids? Like, ooh,
True.
you know what I mean? Charlamagne heard that because he got part, you know what I'm saying? He's doing his podcast network, and I know Envy and Angela are doing other great things, but think about the money that we are making for these companies. I saw this one podcast, shout out to my man Dave Shans, and he had an interview on his podcast where it said, if they pay you what you're worth, if a job pays you what you're worth, they will go out of business. Wow. Think about that. If they pay you what you're worth, your job will go out of business. They can't pay you what you're worth.
Right.
They got to pay you a percentage of what you bring in. Like, just say if you bring in $10 for a company, they can't give you 10. How they going to make money? Right. So if you know you can make 10, go make 10 on your own. We're in the days and times of it, man. Like, it's just that simple. And it's scary because we sometimes let fear consume us. Like, I can't do this. Well, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to. Right. You better live.
Right. So I do have a funnier, a little lighter question about. I was going through your Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. I seen some clips on your podcast, and I seen that you was singing for Timbaland. Oh. Now, what in the world made? Why was you out there singing for Timbaland?
I'm free. First of all, so we were talking about Aliyah, right? So Aliyah, she passed away, in a plane crash. And when I was younger, me and my homies uptown, we would go to Willow Grove Mall. They had this store called The Wall, and we stole some CDs, you know what I'm saying? And I stole, I'm not happy of it. Like, listen, you kids out there watching, they will arrest you. You will go to jail. I don't know what happened. The security cameras were a little janky back then. I took the Aliyah 1 in a Million CD, and I'm listening. I'm like, this joint crazy. Like, you know how when you're not supposed to be doing stuff, you just start taking stuff you ain't supposed to take. I'm like, man, person ain't looking. Let me take Aliyah. I don't say do that now. And I took it, and that was my favorite song. The song I was singing for was my favorite song. And I was like, I was trying to go into asking him about the song. It was called Heartbroken by Aliyah. And he was like, man, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know the name of the song. I don't even sound like Aliyah. You know what I mean? So that's what that was. I was trying to sing to have him go into the explanation of the story. Yeah.
Right. Listen, it's hard. It's hard, man.
Yeah. That's it. I'm free now, man. I could just sing. I told the man I stole the CD. He was a little, he ain't like that, but he worried about my $9. Like, come on.
Right. I need to get to a place where I'm comfortable enough to sing to Timbaland. Because my voice is horrible.
Oh yeah, I mean, you heard me. It wasn't like I was, a 5 heartbeat or nothing. It was, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, 5 heartbeat.
Yeah.
So we have a segment called "Was I Wrong?" You said something that kind of brought us right to it. So you said after a certain time, you got to just leave.
Yeah.
James Harden said the same exact thing when it came to Houston. Now, I got to ask you, we all know what's going on. James Harden forced his way out of Houston.
Yeah.
He got out of there. Was he wrong for the way that he handled that situation?
Oh, man. Damn, you set me up. Because part of me, I understand the Harden situation, right? Like, he's not getting any younger. Right. What are we doing? I've been in situations where, I remember we had our 3rd son, and I was like, I was on the radio and I had a conversation. I called him. I called the vice president of the radio company. I was like, dog, what are we doing? Like, let's wrap this up. Because if we're wasting time, like, y'all want to win. If y'all don't want to win, you showing me you don't want to win. If y'all don't want to win, let's wrap up the break, bro. Like, so I've been there. I've been there. I've been that frustrated when you doing everything possible to win and nobody want to win. Everybody just want to collect money. It's like, dog, if we just collect the money, let me out of this contract. Let's end the show now so I could sleep in the morning. I could just slide into, the TV and keep it moving. So I understand where frustration comes in. It's really easy for me on this side to be like, James Harden was wrong, but I understand being in that situation and I've done it. I've called the VP like, yo, dog, Y'all don't want to win. Y'all not trying to compete.
Right.
That's on the clear budget. So no, I don't think he was wrong. I love what he did. I love his emotion. And nobody can, and it's so crazy. You made me think about that in that way. This is the first time I thought about it. Because when I saw him, I'm like, damn, he wilding. What is he doing? But I've been there. I'm talking about fresh out the hospital with something. I'm like, yo, listen, man. If y'all want, like, we can wrap it up. I'm done. Time. So I've been there. Yeah, I don't think he was wrong.
You heard it here first. James Harden, you wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
Can I change?
No, we black, man. We emotional. We emotional. You know how many people ride him like, dog, man, LeBron got another one. You know what I'm saying?
He got another one.
What is he, 50? And you can't get one? You think he not mad? Hell yeah. Get me out of here. He said was he wrong? Was what he said, was he wrong? It might have, I'm just saying the thing he said, dog, I don't think we good enough to win. Was he lying? They
weren't coming out the West.
They was not coming out the West. No way. And he turned down 50 million. That goes to show you it's not about money.
Right.
When you get to a certain point, it's like he's free. It's like, bro, no, keep your 50. Listen, keep your $50 million for 2 years.
50.
But he's free because he got that, how much I think Adidas gave him like 4? They gave him 400 million? Something crazy. Well, free. He got to win. He got he got nothing but pressure on him. Nah, give me somewhere I can win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But can I change your mind real quick?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
So say you was doing the show, right? Doing the Q show, and they called you like, hey, we about to bring Steve Harvey down here to team up with you to do this show. And then Steve Harvey there, y'all win, and you're like, I don't like Steve. I want Steve out of here. They give it to Steve. And then they bring in, who's another big, Ellen. They bring in Ellen DeGeneres on your show. Yeah, we're going to team you up with Ellen.
Yeah.
Ellen didn't cut the need to get out of there. All right, we're going to bring in, you said Cosmic Kell was there for you for a long time. Russell with him inside OKC. Cosmic Kell, come on. Don't work out. After a while, whose fault is it that you're losing?
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely.
That was good. That was good.
Keith, that was amazing. I'm just saying, after you leave, you have all those people and they're gone, and I'm sitting here with Boogie Cousins, who's 55 years old. I gotta go. You get rid of my coach, you get rid of my GM. I gotta go. And the Sixers are idiots. Come on, Sixers. Why y'all want to let Ben go? Stop. Y'all playing. So, yeah. I'm just talking heavy. You feel me?
You just talking heavy.
That's
it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we appreciate you. But before you go, I gotta ask you one thing, man. I gotta hear one of those old school inspirational deezy radio, get up off your ass and do something speeches. I mean, I'm telling you, I really used to be driving like, he right.
Well, I don't even know what you're saying. What I used to say? I don't have no.
He used to be like, listen, I say it all the time. He used to be like this. Listen, I can't just put you on. You got to put the work in. You got to put the work in.
Yo. You know why, man? Because I think people think you can just. This shit is hard, man. This shit is hard. Like, dog, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Dog, I literally put on 1,000 people on my TV show. 1,000 people, like 1,000 black people on my TV show on the low. And it was so crazy, right? I hear people grinding me up. Oh, you wearing suits now. You talking, I can't call you QDZ no more. Like, I heard all this shit, right? I'm getting all the bullets. Meanwhile, what I'm doing, I had a fucking segment on the show called Q-Appreciation where I let anybody come down and just shout out whatever they wanted to do. Who's letting people do that? Who's letting people do that? Right. So then you do that, and then I'm like, yo, I'm letting singers come on. Like everybody named Mom came on the show. Bro. And the thing is, it's so tough because people thought that was easy. Every time I did something like that, I'm had to people questioning me on why are we doing that or why are we doing this? So when you think about that, all right, Q, we need you to go and get there and do that. I'm doing all of that. Of course, I'm coming up, but I'm just saying it was tough. So I'm just saying, like, whatever cats want to do, you got to really focus And like, if you see somebody doing it, like really step back and like really put yourself in their shoes. Like,
Right.
Cosmic Kev gets hell in the city. Hell.
He do. That's true.
Like he gets so much hell. But here's the deal. Cosmic Kev has the longest hip hop running show probably in Philly history, right? Come Up Show has been on since 98. It's 2021.
21.
Yeah. I remember listening to Jay-Z and them on it Come Up Show when I was a kid.
Bro, since that show, the last 23 years of just that show, right? He's put on thousands of people. On the flip side, back then, it was like every other person rap. Everybody in Philly rap. Everybody.
True.
Millions of people. So you can't put everybody on. And then you want him to be what? You want him to be in the trenches so he get his head knocked off? Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, so I just say, if you want to build with people, really study their moves and study their, like, how they're doing it. And it's like, it's enough information out here for everybody to be successful. Whatever you're doing. I don't care if you're a cook. There's cooks online that you could look at and study their moves. That's what producers do. Producers, I just listened to some Timbaland beats. He sampled, damn near took the whole beat off of some of his biggest records. So like, you sample people's success. That's all I'm saying. Sample people's success. If y'all want to be the biggest podcast, look at the biggest podcast. Joe Rogan got a big podcast. Joe Budden got a big podcast. Like, how are they doing it? Like, it's not rocket science, man. And I think a lot of times we as people just like start coming down on people like, oh, Q ain't put me on. I had a rapper say that to me, like via Instagram. And I was working at the TV station at the time, so I had to play political and I couldn't like get back at him. But he's like, man, he ruined my career. I'm like, how can you gave me that much power? Like, I ruined your career. But when you were on and you were signed and everything was up and you were flying, I didn't hear that.
Right.
Because every time it's down, or you on the down, you wanna do the James Harden. See what I'm saying? You want to do the James Harden. So that's all. I don't know if I gave you the speech you wanted, but
that was perfect. That was perfect right there. And y'all remember what he was saying throughout, you know what I mean, build relationships. That's how you started it. And I love how you started there. Relationships are very important in this game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Keith, take it away, man.
All right, so you've been talking heavy the whole time, and our catchphrase on the show is, if you're not talking heavy, what you talking for? Can you say it for us one time?
If you're not talking heavy, what you talking for? No. Yo, if you're not talking, listen, if you're not talking heavy, what you talking for?
And that's that, man. That's that. We appreciate you, Big Q, for coming through, man.
Much love. Keep it up, y'all. Like, keep going, bro. Like, this is the new way. If you look at tech magazines, look at everything that's going on, this is the way. Like, you're going to start seeing industries crumble. Radio, TV. I'm not just saying that. There's millions of dollars in this. Like, don't take this lightly. You know what I mean? So if you're not talking heavy, what you talking for?
We appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Much love, y'all.
Much love.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.
I hate asking people to say that. I don't know how to ask people to say that.
So listen, we're going to get a quick commercial break going in. Everything is brought to you by TalkHvy. You can watch us there, like us there. Hit the button, the subscribe button on YouTube, all of that good stuff, man. And, get lost in our content. If y'all looking for another podcast to listen to, make sure y'all go check out Sip and Spill. And ladies, if you're feeling a little hit, holla at _ Just Brit. Or you can walk right down the street and holla at Beauty by 10. Huh? 10. There you go. Now, we got TalkHvy Court coming up. We got a Scott and Keith Court coming. I mean, I didn't hear these. Did y'all ever go to court?
Yeah, when I smoked them about sports.
Oh,
you didn't smoke me. You
smoked them about sports. You smoked them already?
I smoked them already. Oh my goodness. You got sweat.
Oh man, boy, oh boy. Todd, you got a coin on you?
I don't.
It's all right.
Let us introduce the court. We start flipping
No,
coins.
I was. That's what I'm saying. I was trying to get prepared before we do that, but that's all right. It's all right though. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna introduce this court. Now, it's a lot of controversy. We just talked about James Harden. Now we're going to talk about his teammate, or is he? His name is Kyrie Irving. And lately, he has been going through a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of personal things. He's been doing a lot of antics that's been getting a lot of people angry. Now, Scott says he's totally in bounds for these antics. And Keith said, no, he's out of bounds. This is just, it's not okay. You can't do these type of things. So you can't do it. So we're here to see who's right and who's wrong. Now, Taj, who do you think you pick?
I'm gonna let Keith pick.
All right, Keith, here's the
Tails.
We didn't even flip that joint.
It's tails. Just for
What's
your mouth.
up?
It was good. It was gonna be heads, but now it's tails.
Hey yo.
Go ahead, Scott. Give me your explanation first.
He started cheating. All right. Where my time at, yo?
All right, I'm starting. I'm gonna do the countdown with my hands. Unless Taj got you on your joint for the screen.
Yeah,
I got the timer right here on the computer.
It's not gonna go ahead. Go on the computer. My fault. It's not gonna work because I got
All
the
right.
background.
I'm gonna tell you when you're at 10 seconds, and I'm gonna tell you at 5. Go ahead.
So Kyrie Irving, is he wrong for not saying nothing to his peers? Absolutely. Is he wrong for not communicating with his coach for being out? Absolutely. But is he wrong for actually being out? No. Nobody knows what's going on in Kyrie's life. We don't know what's happening to him. His family situation, his personal situation, his mental health could be at stake here. We don't know. But what is the biggest thing, and my problem is that people out here criticizing him like he's not a human being. You know, y'all out here talking about Kyrie Irving like he a robot or something. Like that's all he do is play basketball and that's it. Like, no, he's a philanthropist. You know, he bought George Floyd family a house. He donated millions of dollars to other, organizations, charities, etc. This man has been doing philanthropy his entire career, and he doesn't even talk about it. So the fact that now that he missed a couple games, he missed 8 games, that everybody want to talk bad about him and be like, oh, Kyrie, Stephen A went on First Take and say he should retire. Really? Listen, y'all going crazy right now. And I feel like y'all need to lay off my man Kyrie. You don't know what's going on in his life. He need to fix himself, get himself together. Cool. But calm down. For real. Like y'all never had personal issues in y'all life. Come on. And I'm done.
And he ain't need 2 minutes now. Let's get it.
Scott said, was he wrong for all the things he did? Yes. But what are we arguing in court then, Scott? You said he was wrong for everything he did. I don't even know what to argue back at this point. He left his teammates. This is not the first time he did this. This is why people are still talking about it. He did it in Cleveland. He did it with Big Homie in South Philly when he was fighting and arguing in the back. He did it when he left LeBron. He did it in Boston. Now he's doing it in Brooklyn. He went out without a mask on. You said we don't know what's going on with him. Cool. If he disappeared and wasn't on social media, wasn't doing nothing, I'm like, all right, cool. Kyrie might be going the same. He posted a video of him at a party without a mask on. Bow Wow just had a concert in Atlanta and 17 people died from it. We are in a pandemic, my guy. You cannot do that. That is against NBA protocol. That is against everything that's going on. His contract and what he's getting paid for is to play basketball. LeBron James is a philanthropist. He does things for Black people while still playing basketball. LeBron opened up a whole school while still playing basketball. You can do your job. If you have a 9 to 5, you can't tell your 9 to 5, be like, I'm not going to tell my boss I'm not coming in and just, it's cool. Like, I was a manager at work. We used to hate when employees touch other employees and say, I'm not coming in today. No, you have to talk to me. Are you ready to talk to another manager? So we can go ahead and we can work together on this, because you're a teammate. You can't work as a team without communicating with your team. And that's at all levels, not just KD, not just your best friend. That's not how that works, my guy. Like now the whole Brooklyn Nets is talking about two dramas, Harden and Kyrie. That's taking distraction away from their winning, from their cohesion. And the whole team will not win if Kyrie still keeps his attitude. I'm done.
Y'all came out hot. Y'all both came out hot. I'm ready. As soon as you start, I'm starting time. So just let's.
But so my point was that yes, he should have communicated with his teammates. But that wasn't the main point of my argument. The main point of my argument was that people are dissecting, criticizing, destroying his character because he missed some time on basketball when we don't know what's going on with him in real life. He could be having some real life issues. That was my point. And that's what I said or articulated. So that, and you are saying that he should have communicated with his team and his teammates, but we really don't know. And social media can be his outlet to get out his information, to get his thoughts, his feelings, his express himself out there. You feel what I'm saying? So it's all about perspective. We in a pandemic, like you said, but I know for a fact that y'all did things y'all wasn't supposed to do during this pandemic. I know for a fact that y'all was doing out here, going to parties, going to whatever without a mask. So I don't like that argument at all. But yeah, anyway.
Well, Scott, I don't get paid millions of dollars on a contract to go play around with a whole nother team. I'm just Keith. I just sit in the basement and do a podcast. And by doing this podcast, if I said, fuck you, Scott, and clicked off and it disappeared, you're going to say, oh, I don't know what's going on with Keith. Because that's the wrong way to go about it. If I keep on going about things the wrong way, eventually people are going to look at you and say, you're wrong. He didn't get on social media and say, I just need time to myself. He got on social media and posted a video of him at a party with no mask on. He never spoke to anyone. If you keep on doing things the wrong way, people are going to look at you wrong. He's not performing correctly in this situation. He's not performing as a man, as a teammate, or anything. Now, I understand what you're saying. Don't judge him and all that. But if he talked like a man and communicated like a man, we will understand what he's going through. I done.
Okay.
Listen. You guys did good today, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all came with the heat. Now I'm sitting in my judge's seat and judge you guys like a real judge should. Taj, you go.
I mean, I was considering Scott's point, and then he said philanthropy. And if I think back in my memory, I think me and Scott had an argument where he hates philanthropists. So why would you sit here and try to convince me how much philanthropy work that Kyrie Irving does when you told me it don't mean a goddamn thing? So with that being said, it don't mean a goddamn thing, Scott. Keith is right. This nigga keep acting crazy. And then, he was going through something. Everybody's going through something. I'm going through something. You're going through. I ain't trying. Keith, you won.
So here's the thing with that. I wrote down some notes, so I'll give you guys. I really took the time to judge this thing. I think that Scott's point is really great when he talked about nobody really knows what Kyrie Irving is going through, and the criticism that he's under right now is coming from a place of ignorance because people don't know what he may be going through, and I think that that's a valiant point. Keith, his point was that it's a pattern. The stunt that he's been doing since the beginning of his career. It's irresponsible because he went out without a mask and he could be, spreading it to people. He's under contract. Keith, you hit a lot of points. So now I had to take back multiple points versus a heavy point. What I looked at was the question. Is Kyrie out of bounds? Is he out of line for doing it? And I think that Keith hit that on multiple angles, pause. I think that Keith really drove the point home that Kyrie is out of line for, number one, not communicating this with the proper people. Now, maybe it's not everybody's business that what he's going through, but he could relay the fact that he is going through something. Have a little bit of patience with me. These are things that could all be fixed with communication. So I think that, just like I said, keep bringing up the pattern, the irresponsible factor of it, the fact that you're breaking a contract, the fact that you're not the only one doing philanthropy in this game and having to do a job at the same time. And the communication factor, I think it was just a little too much for Scott to come back with the mental health thing. So, Keith, you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. It just reminds me, what's that? Is this the comment section? Keith? Oh, I don't.
Oh, you wanted the comment section?
I don't even know why I brought it up.
It's his girlfriend. It's his girlfriend. And Venice.
He said it's the whole team.
Last time. Hold on. Last time I took you to the woodshed, even your girl voted for me. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point.
So Keith, I would like to ask you, how did it feel getting this sweep win? I mean, even in the comments, popular demand and real demand, you're getting this win over Scott, the infamous, articulate, very intelligent Scott.
Well, I feel like Scott made it easy once he defeated his own argument during his argument. And it feels good to get a win after the Ravens lost. So like this is for me, this meant something for me. Like I feel good about myself, right? I feel warm inside right now. And I just want to thank everyone for voting for me. I want to thank my little cousin for being the easy target. And this we keep on going.
So previously you said that you were retired. You came out of retirement and you won. Are you planning any matches for the future?
Like Floyd, I like to stay retired unless the money is right. The money was right today. If the money is right again, I will come back out.
There you go, people. You heard it first here first. Talk heavy. He said if the money is right, he'll fight. That's what we have. So we'll like to say that wraps up a whole nother episode of Talk Heavy. Once again, I'm your boy Scoop Burgundy.
It's your boy Todd.
Just call me Ruff.
And get started.
And until next week, holla. You never know who we might have. Psych, we're gonna have Boom 39, Pop a Perk, let it flow to your body. Ooh, Mac Daddy. But until then, make sure y'all check out the bid, do a little bit of research. Don't pop no perks, but listen to the song because it's a jam. And holla.